Welcome to the Free Game Don D podcast, life, family, and business. Listen, today's topic is interdependence. Interdependence is the state of being dependent on one another or mutually dependent. I think sometimes in relationships, man, people either want to be independent, I'm gonna do my thing, you do your thing, or you want to be dependent on somebody else, or that person wants you to be dependent on them, right? But I think when you're interdependent, when you're in an interdependent relationship, or you're moving as a interdependent unit, when you're in a relationship with somebody, I think that's the best outcome because now it's like a partnership. It's a win-win situation. Like no one's losing. It's like, my wins are tied to your wins are tied to my wins. So it's an interdependent, relationship where we both benefit from the wins of each other.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that that's always, like you said, it's like it's a win-win situation. Because I think oftentimes when one is doing their own thing and the other is doing their own thing, in your mind, you're telling yourself, okay, well, he's doing what he's doing, I'm doing what I'm doing, and we're going to meet in the middle. But if you're doing something over here and I'm doing something over here and we're not truly bringing it together where it mutually has some type of not necessarily coordination, but like it doesn't fit. It's kind of like two puzzle pieces trying to put them together and it's not the right fit. But when you're doing things together, but you've got your way of doing it, I've got my way of doing it, and everything works in both positions. When you bring it together, the puzzle pieces match, and then it's a benefit to completing the picture. You see what I'm saying? So interdependence, I mean, before Donald even brought it up, I had no idea what interdependence was. But then once we got the definition, I was like, oh shoot, okay, that's what we doing. All right now, I got me a new vocabulary word, so I got to use it a whole bunch. So, but that's good. Interdependence is a good thing. Some people might look at it as weak, like, oh, you can't do nothing without each other, But that's honestly, there's strength in numbers. You know what I'm saying? You can get it by yourself, but two people with a common goal, we're gonna get there so much faster than if it was just one.
Yeah, I think it's strength in relationship when both spouses know that an attack against me is an attack against you.
Oh,
An attack against you is an attack against me. A win for me is a win for you. A win for you is a win for me.
Yes.
It's a real partnership. I mean, listen, man, I've been in relationships where people were dependent upon me. Been in relationships where we were both operating independently of each other. It's hard to make those kind of relationships work long term. And a relationship is a long-term agreement between two parties, and you're trying to coexist long term, and having a relationship and building a union that is this kind of rooted in interdependence. To me, I think that's the best option for having long-term success in any relationship. And we're not even just talking about marriage and just relationships with people you're dating and things of this nature. We're talking about even in business.
Oh yeah.
Our relationships in business are interdependent relationships, right? So these are real partnerships, man, and it's important to have these type of relationships. Sometimes guys will ask me, man, how is it working with your wife? And I'll say, hey, listen, it's just an extension of our interdependence relationship. We do everything together, literally finances, the children, any kind of moves we make. I mean, business, I mean, us working together was just a natural progression of the way we move as a interdependent unit. And, we've never done things like independently of each other. There's never been a situation where like, oh, give me something that belongs to you because I'm trying to hurt you because, I'm trying to look out for myself.
Yeah.
It's never been that kind of relationship where, you've never asked me for something selfishly just to benefit you. I've never asked you something, of yourself to selfishly benefit me. Like we've always done everything together as a interdependent unit, man. So us being in business together, so when I get asked that quite a bit. Apparently, a lot of guys would like to work with their wives, and a lot of wives would like to work with their husbands. Um, but I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, we came into a relationship where we just, I know Michael says that she didn't know what interdependence was, but we came into this relationship, with an interdependent mindset where we were both dependent on each other, and it's been like that since day one. So us getting into business together, it was just, like I said, that was just a natural progression. So when guys asked me that, I said, man, it was just a natural progression of what we were already doing. So when it's just an extension of what you're already doing, it doesn't really feel like work or anything.
Exactly.
So because I think what they're asking basically is like, man, how do you deal working with your wife all the time? That's got to be rough. I think that's what they're trying to say, and when women ask you that, it's probably the same thing. Like, man, how do you deal working with your husband all the time? Oh my God,
But it's funny because they'll say that, but then in the same token, they're like, oh, look at y'all so cute. Oh, that's cute. Oh, y'all having lunch together. Remember when the neighbor next door was like, oh, y'all having lunch together. Look at y'all cute, But that's the thing. And I think it's not something that you can just start doing like just, oh, now we're going to be interdependent. Let's do it now. It's something that had to like be ingrained, like you said. Okay, so before we were doing insurance and we started our life and health insurance agency, Donald was a truck driver, and I worked for Comcast as the IT person. Two different career fields, but the work that he was putting in on that road, the work that I was putting in at work was for the betterment of us and our family. So the days where he had to maybe stay out longer on a route or something like that, that was to benefit our family. The overtime or extra assignments that I may have taken that took time from the family was for the betterment of, our family. So it's almost like the decisions that we were making was always with the family, with us in mind. It wasn't, oh, I'm doing overtime so I can get that extra money to get this bag or something like that, or these shoes. It was like, I'm doing this to be able to contribute to the pot of what we're trying to do for our family and to make things easier for Donald. Maybe if I get this done, then he may not have to take that load next week. Or he may not feel like he needs to take that load next week. Maybe he can spend a couple of extra days here because I did this, and vice versa, So you kind of have to have that mindset of, I'm not looking out for self. I'm looking out for my better half. I'm looking out for my partner. Because again, it's not just relationships. This is in business as well, too. In order to have a successful business and a successful partnership, you all have to be interdependent upon each other as well. Y'all both have to want to basically see a same common goal. And if you don't have that, then you're not going to be interdependent. And there's no way to do that overnight. That is something that has to be ingrained in you and is in your mindset to be that way.
And let me say this too, Michael. It's even like finances, man, and all these kind of things, man. So like, if my dream is financial stability and financial freedom, and your dream is, hey, I want to show everybody that we can have the biggest house or the fanciest car.
It's clashing.
We're clashing. I mean, that's not a interdependent unit because we're not even on the same page. But if and I think one of the things, like I said, when people ask me, I said, listen, me and my wife, we dream together, we learn together, we fail together, we succeed, we celebrate and win together. So it's truly an interdependent a relationship, an interdependent a unit that's built on interdependence. And I think back even to when we got custody of the kids. I mean, like, you were right there to help me with all of that stuff, and it was something that me and you agreed upon together. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go fight for the kids and dump this on you. It's going to be a win for me, but a loss for you. Yeah. No, I need to make sure that you're on board for this. So it's win-win. And it was a win-win situation for us as a couple. That's why I say a lot of times when you see couples that are working together, they probably already have an interdependence relationship already prior to working together. They've done things as a unit. They've moved as a unit. Their goals are aligned. The way they want to move is aligned. And so everything else they do is just a natural progression of what the foundation of their relationship is built on. So relationships that are built on independence, meaning you're independent and I'm independent and we're just independently doing our thing, but we're calling ourselves, but we're in a marriage, but it's not a partnership. I mean, those relationships come with a lot of strain. I mean, I've been in those relationships. I mean, you've been in them. So we get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm going to be honest, man. In prior relationships, man, it was all about me handling what I had to handle. Because guess what? I didn't trust the person that I was with. Right? So I'm moving the way I had to move. A lot of guys have a hard time saying that. Sometimes they'll say, well, my wife is giving me a hard time. But what they're having a hard time saying is that, man, I don't trust my wife to do certain things. I don't trust her as my partner. But that sounds so bad. But just to say, man, it's just hard, man. And it's hard because you don't trust her.
Yeah.
You don't trust her to be your partner. You don't trust her with your dreams.
Yeah.
You don't trust her with your failures. You don't trust her with your successes. You don't trust her with any of that. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't view her as a real partner. And those could be because of her actions, right? But either way, but it's hard to say that. Like, I don't really trust my wife with everything I'm dealing with, right? We don't have a interdependent relationship. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that, It's just hard to say that sometimes as a man. So sometimes I see guys that'll be complaining about their wife. And, I just feel like what they're really saying is that, man, I don't trust my wife with the things that I struggle with. I don't trust her. I don't trust her with that information because she's shown me that, she's going to move her way. And so that forces me to move my way or vice versa. Maybe she didn't trust you, with certain things.
That's what I was just getting ready to bring up.
Yeah, so,
it's funny. Men and women have a lot of things in common, more things in common than what they truly know. And so sometimes the same struggles that men have in trusting, someone to get the deed done the way that they would get it done or to work along with them or see their vision. It's the same thing for a woman because I know in past relationships, that's how it was with me. I had goals and aspirations, and if I felt like you didn't fit the part, I didn't even tell you about it. It was just me against the world, and if you get to, benefit from, the fruits of my labor, then fine. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not even going to ask you for help. Or even when it comes to leading, because I know we had a segment about secure enough to lead. What is it? Shoot.
Well, no,
strong enough to lead, secure enough to follow.
Right, there you go.
That's what it was. And so, sometimes there'll be men that'll kind of looking like, well, why won't she listen to me? Why won't she take my opinion? Well, because you're not showing yourself as someone that is strong enough to lead me. I'm leading you, boo. Okay? How I'm going to let you lead me if I'm the one leading you, And so there is that tug of war. But it's not like you can't get past it. It's all in your mindset. And sometimes people's mindsets are at a different level in life than others. It doesn't mean you can't get there, but usually if someone has a growth mindset, you cannot be with someone who does not have a growth mindset. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And so we can't even be partners and stuff because it's going to be a tug of war. Tug of war, there's one person on this rope, there's one person, and we're pulling like this. That's not going to work. But in an interdependent relationship, whatever's on this end of the rope, the both of y'all are on this side, pulling it.
Come on.
Okay? We're not pulling against each other. It's you and me against whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish or overcome.
Oh, you better say it, Mike.
Period. I said it.
We're pulling that rope together, man. As though it may be a tug of war, but we're on the same side.
Exactly.
And I think that's the thing about interdependence that people don't quite realize. You want a relationship built on interdependence where you two are dependent upon each other. Most times, getting in a relationship, we're like, the woman may be like, well, I don't want to be dependent upon him because of maybe some past relationships or whatever. So now it's like, I'm afraid to be in a interdependent relationship. I'm afraid to be in a situation where my husband is dependent upon me and I'm dependent upon him. We're dependent upon each other mutually. Yeah. I'm afraid to be in that. But they don't even think about that. They almost think about it as a bad thing. Like, I don't want to be dependent on him. Without realizing that we're dependent on each other. Exactly. Right? Whatever the relationship is, like, we're dependent on each other. So there's an interdependence, and that's the strongest type of relationship that you can ever have, where both of y'all know that your actions and Everything you do is you're dependent upon each other, right? So that I don't know. I really think that that's something special. And I think when people ask me that, like I say, you know, when guys ask me like, hey, man, how is it working with your wife? Like I say, you know, it's just, I just gotta tell them. I say, bro, I mean, I don't want to be all dismissive of the question you're asking me, but man, it's just, we built a relationship that was based on a interdependence of each other.
Yeah.
So everything we've done, that's just kind of how we've moved. Now, granted, when you've been in relationships where it's not like that, I mean, you really want a partnership, man. If you're blessed enough to be in a partnership, that's an interdependence relationship. You probably just never realized it.
Yeah.
You two are dependent upon each other. Y'all are in a real partnership. It's a win-win. It's not win-lose, lose-win. It's win-win.
It's win-win.
And when it's win-win, what is DJ Khalid says?
All I do is
All I do is win-win.
what.
So that's a great situation to be in, man. So being mutually dependent of each other.
It is. And I tell you another thing too, it's almost like it's calming. When you know that you have this person, y'all are interdependent, you know that you can count on this person to be there. You know, if you're at 40%, you can count on them to be the other 60 and vice versa. So that way y'all are always getting to where you want to be. Because listen, every day is not going to be a great day. You know, every day you're not going to feel your best. Every day you're not going to really feel like bringing it like you know you need to. But the thing about it, when you're interdependent, then your partner, because I'm just going to say partner. It could be a relationship as well, but it's still a partnership. Even if you're in a relationship, it's a partnership if y'all are interdependent upon each other. So even with that you'll know that automatically, okay, this person she's not really feeling herself too much today, so let me bring it. And by that person seeing you bring it and staying focused and staying diligent and staying disciplined and on that path, that then makes them kind of get out their rut of, we ain't got no time for this. You know, let me pick myself up. You know, I can rest when I'm sleeping. Okay, tonight I'll take a rest. It doesn't matter how tired I am. I need to bring this energy now, you know, to get to this common goal. And I know that's very calming to me because I have days where I'm not all the way there, and you have brought me there. You know, and vice versa. So.
And listen, I don't want anybody to confuse us. You're still an individual, right? You still have things that make you Michael,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I still have things that make me Donald, you know, but these things are still beneficial to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Is.
You know who I am as Donald is beneficial to Michael. Who Michael is as Michael as an individual is beneficial to me. And so you still can, you know, be who you are. I think some people may think, well, if I'm in an interdependent relationship, then I'm not whoever I am. I'm not an individual anymore. But no, you're still an individual. You're still who you are. But you're in a relationship that is very healthy, and you understand that your moves and your dreams and aspirations are linked to your partners.
Oh yeah.
You know, moves and dreams and aspirations.
Mm-hmm. And that you're a direct reflection somewhat of each other. So like you can't go out and show your butt and think that, you know, oh, this only affects Donald. You know what I'm saying? No, it affects Michael as well. So, you know, let me do what I need to do and vice versa. I can't go out and just, you know, be dropping it like it's hot everywhere and think that, oh, they just going to judge me. They're not going to judge Donald. They're going to be looking at Donald like, he don't know how to take care of home. His woman is out here. She outside, all the way outside, you know? So that's the other thing too. When you are working, when you know that you have an interdependent type relationship, partnership, you're forward thinking. You're not going to make any moves that's going to embarrass anybody else because you know on the other end, they've got to do the same thing, vice versa. We want to keep everything positive. And, you know, and any mistakes that are made, they're addressed together, you know?
Absolutely.
So it's not, oh, you did this, your fault, you figure it out. No, it's how we going to
you know what? I think that's the biggest thing because we make you make decisions together when you're in an interdependent relationship.
Yes.
So you don't look at it like, oh, well, that was just him. That was on him. No, that's on us.
Yeah.
You know, so I know we recently made a hefty investment in some marketing, and you know, I was the primary catalyst behind that. But
Yes. But I stick beside him. I stick beside him.
how do you say that? That's my man.
That's my man. Yeah, that's him.
I'm gonna stand
I'm gonna
beside
stand beside him. While he make this money move that I don't know about, but I'm gonna stick beside him.
But shout out to you though, man. I mean, you know, we're always trying to make moves in business to, you know, to grow and
Investments,
scale, and this just didn't really line up with our business practices, so we had to retract it. But with that being said, it was a decision we made together, and a decision we came out of together. It wasn't like, oh well, this is on you. This is your decision. If it fails, it's on you. No, that's not a partnership. That's not an interdependent relationship. My failures reflect on Michael as well. Her failures reflect on me. So there's a true interdependence of each other, and there's no disconnect. There's no disconnect when it comes to the children, when it comes to finances, when it comes to the business relationships. Everything that we do, we realize that there's a connection there between you know, me and you. And so, guys, you're out here dating a young lady. You know, you need to make sure that it's a real partnership, that she understands that, hey, we're moving as a interdependent unit. It's not about what you can get out of me; it's what we can give to each other.
That's right.
And if you can't have that relationship, then my wife always says, like, chuck the deuces and things. You know, she quick to throw that up.
Yeah, I'm quick to cut somebody off. I've always been quick to cut people off.
Yeah, so I just think you got to move like that, man. Listen, man, you can't fight the world and your woman. You know, you just can't do that, man. You need a woman that has your back. I mean, I'm just speaking from a male perspective. I need a woman that I know has my back, that is my partner, that we can make decisions together, that I can trust her with my failures, and, you know, and I'm going to make sure she can trust me with hers. And we're going to talk it all out, and we're going to move as a unit, man. I think that's a healthy relationship. That's a healthy dynamic in a relationship, being in a situation to where we're interdependent, which basically means we're dependent upon each other.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I like that, Donald.
Every now and then I come up with something, man. You know, you just, you know.
That was very smooth.
It's, you know, I do the best that I can as for a kid who did graduate college, you know, so.
And, you know, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, man, you know, but I read a lot, man. So there's a lot of people that went to college that they don't read books. And so they're not that smart.
Hey, stop. I read books now.
They just got a degree. That's it. That's where the learning stopped for them. Ooh. But luckily for me, you know, I read a ton. So
I feel like shots fired.
No, not you, man.
I got 2 degrees. Hold up now. That ain't interdependent, sir.
But no, I'm not talking about you. I'm just, you know,
I'm just
certainly not talking about you.
No, but that's true, because there are certain people that, you know, they'll look at it like, oh, you didn't go to college, or well, you're beneath me, or something.
Studies say that most people, when they graduate college, that's where the knowledge and the reading stops.
Yeah.
You know, so they don't grow anymore. So, you know, just. Yeah. I don't know how we got on that, but
I don't know how either. But yes, interdependence. Like I was saying when we first started talking about this, it's something that I didn't know. I didn't know that there was such a word or a definition, but I was proud to know there was something that we've been doing all this time. I was like, okay, well, now we got a word for what we're doing. I just thought we were getting along wonderfully. You know? That's all.
Listen, all you knew is that we were moving as a unit. And we would always say that we move as a unit. You know, we've always done that. We've always moved as a unit. But when you realize that there is a
fancy word for it.
Yeah. You realize there's a fancy word for that. You know, oh, man, you guys are in an interdependent relationship. Oh, man.
Yes, we are. For sure. You betcha. Yep. By golly.
Just be doing the most, man.
I do.
But no.
Is there a word for that? Extra?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, extra. Yeah. That would be the word. But
that's me.
You know, but I'm here for it, so it's all good. I signed up for that, so.
You did. And it's me. Not changing. Yeah, but interdependence.
She's still struggling with it, so.
I'm struggling. I'm stuttering. It's all good, but it's what I am. Yes, I'm interdependent.
Listen. This is going to conclude the episode of Free Game Don D.
Yes.
Interdependence.
Yes. Life, family, and business. Yes.
Guys, please hit the subscribe button.
Yes, please subscribe.
Please
we got
subscribe.
some more good stuff for y'all.